Hi, good evening again, and today is Tuesday, Tuesday the 18th of November, 2025. Is it the 18th already? Yeah, it is the 18th of November 2025. I'm currently at home, as you can see. It's a rainy day. Maulan ngayong araw na ito. Nagsimula kanina pang umaga, and then the rain lasted until late this afternoon. So, ayan, it's a yucky day, but oh well. Um, Naitawid naman natin ang isang araw na ito ng, the day went fast. Productive. Madami naman tayong na-accomplish and everything. So, anyway, tawag dito, um, I have been contemplating whether I'm going to tell a story or not. I mean, I wanted to, for the sake of so many questions being asked, so many questions being thrown at me. I felt like I'm being obligated. I feel like, it's not that I'm obligated to give an answer, but I wanted to do it anyway just because, you know, nakakahiya naman sa mga, alam mo na yun, sumusubaybay ng buhay ko, talo pa ang CCTV camera. So, ito na nga po. Magkikwento na tayo ng aking buhay. O, ba diba? Nakakahiya naman sa inyo. Oh, well. Anyway, so I'm going to talk to you about my story about, how I went to the US, my marriage life, and that's pretty much it. Oh, well. So, it was, when did I, it was May 28, 2018. I think I arrived there the 30th, something like that, or 29th of May, 2018 in the US. And then I came home in 2024 just for vacation. But anyway, so before I went to the US, what did I do? Well, I've done a lot of different things. After I graduated, I work at a call center. So that was my very first job, aside from the OJT that I have at NSO. What else? I work at pretty much call center industry, BPO industry. Thank you for calling. But oh well. So that's the kind of job that I did before. I work at the call center in Manila, and then I also work in BP. I also work at home as a virtual assistant. So it's more of like customer service. You know how it is, like working at foreign company based here in the Philippines, but the company is located overseas, like United Kingdom, China, what else, Australia, and the US. So those are the kind of jobs that I had prior to me going to the US. And then I also had my my nonprofit organization that I've been part of. Is more of like a livelihood training to poor Filipinos who wanted to take advantage of the puhunan or capital to start a business. So it's a business. It is a livelihood program that this person, his name is George. He's from overseas as well. He's German. So he started a crowdsourcing. So we had a crowdsourcing. So there's a lot of different people who sponsored and donated to make the goal possible. So it's a crowdfunding. He was able to collect 1 million peso in cash using the crowdfunding website. So I myself has been trusted to handle this this project. So the project is located here in Gubat. For the most part, the people that are part of our from our barangay, and then people from Dunsol, and then few people from Source from Sorsogon as well. So we do some trainings on how to start a business, like how to create a business model, how you're going to, you know, to sell your product, and you know, different kind of stuff. So that's pretty much it. So that's what he did. So George was able to collect 1 million pesos, and you know, he hired me to be his manager here. So managing these different cities, and he was paying me a salary and everything at that time. But I was very curious at that time because, you know, he said about some he told me about he told me something about, you know, I remember he said something that I am pondering and thinking now. He said that the world is looking at you. You know, he's pretty much saying that do not disappoint me. I'm expecting a lot from you. He didn't say that, you know, word for word, but he's pretty much saying that the world is looking at you. You know, that he probably, maybe the people who trusted him, was expecting that, you know, the project is going to be successful, that they handpicked the Philippines to receive this kind of help from different donors. I know there's also this guy, his name is Martin, that I was also talking before in social media, but I don't have that Facebook anymore. But anyway, so George, he was my boss. He stayed here in the Philippines. We've been traveling back and forth to Dunsol, Sorsogon. We even went to Phibox, the Philippine Volcanology, blah blah blah, in Legazpi, because we wanted to, you know, we wanted to do some project. He had this very creative idea about, you know, different earrings and everything for one of the members. So that was it. That was fun. But it wasn't very successful just because I am the only one managing it, you know, going back and forth to Dunsol to collect the payment, going to Sorsogon. I was just by myself. Like, I travel to Dunsol every now and then. And sometimes I would ask my brother to go help me with, you know, with collection of payment and everything. But it was very tiring. You know, I'm the only one. I'm the only one, you know, looking after these different cities and everything. So in other words, you know, the project wasn't very successful. Um, and I don't know, it's just, I mean, if I had an opportunity to make things right, I'll probably do it once again, you know. I mean, I personally also plan on having my own beauty product, blah blah blah. I was planning to create like a soap business and everything out of the, you know, out of the training that we received from him. Like, he given like a very good ideas and everything, but at that time my mind wasn't receptive to understanding that, you know, people would buy this idea, you know, because his perspective and his point of view is very westernized. He doesn't have an idea of how Filipino mind works. Like, it's hard to implement things when people are not receptive to understanding the, you know, understanding the goal and the purpose. But anyway, George, you know, I don't know where he is right now. I'm trying to look for him. You know, I wanted to reach out to him and just check up on him and see how everything is, you know, how everything is doing. I've been hearing a lot of different feedback about him. One of the members said, one of the member who joined the livelihood training said that he's already dead, but I saw his website and he's still writing. There's still a lot of entry. He still has a lot of entry. He was still writing. He was still writing and saying that, you know, he's still alive. So I don't know which part of the Philippines George is now, you know. But yeah, I reached out to him. I sent him a message on everything. But anyway, George is a German guy. I don't know if he's from Switzerland or Germany, but I think he's from Switzerland, I believe. But anyway, his name is George Ruiz. So that's about it. And sometimes he would call me Miss James Band. I don't know why he said that. Sometimes, looking back on the things that he said to me, I don't know. I don't know if he's the one. He's the one who knew a lot about, about projects, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I really don't have any idea of what his background is. All I know is he's a business and financial consultant that a lot of people trusted him. At that time, 1 million pesos is a big deal. There's a lot of people that I submitted, who might qualify for the loan, but he's the one who handpicked, who is he going to approve. So that's pretty much what I did. That's why I decided to quit my job in Manila working at the call center, because of that, because of the project. So I stayed here in Gubat, and I travel every now and then. I go back and forth to Donsol, to Legazpi. That's and Sorsogon. I had to stay in Sorsogon as well, because I believe that Sorsogon is the center point where I can travel and have an access anytime, right? So I stayed there. I had my apartment. While I was doing that job, I was also working as a virtual assistant. So I work online. I was working at home as well. So I was doing a lot of different things. I had so much on my plate once again. I was handling the livelihood program, and then at the same time I was also studying at Annunciation College. I was taking teaching, methodology. So methodology. I'm having a hard time pronouncing it. I'm having my tongue twisted, but I had a I started methods in Annunciation, but I didn't have a chance to finish it. So that's about it. And then I stayed in Sorsogon. I got an apartment in Sorsogon. In fact, I visited them just a few weeks ago. So I stayed in Sorsogon, at housing project there. And then I was working from home as a virtual assistant. My first job as a VA or virtual assistant. I work for a UK based company. The company is based in the UK. It's selling different products like leggings, books, ebooks, um, and then we're getting our products from China. So we have suppliers from China. And then I also work for another company. By the way, the company owner of that from UK is Kat and Martin. So Kat and Martin from the UK. And then at the same time, I was also working for another company, because I feel like the job isn't that hard. So take advantage of the internet. I also work for another company. It's called Retail Pleasure. So the company owner is Jeremy and Rob. So I think Rob is living now in Thailand, but Rob is working. He is, so Rob and Jeremy, we were listing products. We're listing products from Walmart, and then we're selling it to Amazon. So it's different, a lot of different products like bicycle, cleaning products, Lysol, Tide, whatever you can think of, bicycle. We're piggybacking those stuff. Like we are going to source product from Walmart, and then we are listing it on Amazon on a high price. So anyway, I don't know really how it works, but anyway, that's the kind of job that I was doing until such time that I was training new employee. I was handling people. I was handling disputes, the financial part of the business. PayPal disputes, Stripe disputes. So pretty much, I was very happy with the position. It was a very easy and relaxed job. And then at that time, I don't know, I was like, oh my god, I was doing so many things I was doing a lot of things, different things. I was studying. I did not finish it. I was like, my goodness, I don't think I wanna pursue. I don't think I wanna pursue this. This these methods. I don't think this is what I wanted to do. And then the other project, I wasn't very focused at it either. And then I also work at Sutherland. So there's a lot of things that I've done when since I moved here. When I finally decided to leave Manila and stayed here in Bicol. So and then I stayed in Sorsogon with my grandmother as well. So my grandmother and then Nathan. So that's where we live. And then Nathan is going to school and everything. And at that time, prior to my grandmother living with me, because I had my apartment in Sorsogon, I met my ex-husband. I met my ex-husband online. So I met him on online dating site. So I met him on an online dating site. I signed up. I don't know. I was bored. I had my online job. I was like, okay. It is an ad that shows up on my news feed. Like there's an ad that shows up on my news feed. I was like, oh my god. Okay, let me try. Then I signed up to an online dating site, and then I I put my picture and everything, and then I met Mark, my ex-husband. So I was like, I met different people there to chat and everything, but nothing serious. You know how it is. It's like, hi, hellos, this is what I have. I own this, I own that. That kind of thing that they try to impress you with so many stuff. They try to impress you with so many flashy things. Like, okay, I own this and everything, right? Like, I'm going to give you my American Express card and everything, blah 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 blah. That kind of BS that you heard from the online dating site. I didn't really buy it, but anyway, there I met my ex-husband. So I met Mark. He seemed very honest and sincere. So Mark is very honest. He seemed very, he seemed like he's honest. The first time that I met him, he said that I love your name, but I'm going to change it though. So you know how it is. The feeling, like that pickup line that, okay, I love your name, but I'm going to change it though. Oh my god, I don't know if he is saying that pickup line to so many girls, but at that time I was like, wow, that is, oh wow. So he said, I love your name, I'm going to change it though. I was like, okay, I never heard this before. This is something new. But anyway, we started talking and everything. We started talking, and then I decided that I'm going to, after meeting people, chatting with them, it's not even a week, and I decided to finally close my account because I was like, okay, I didn't realize that is how it works here. So I was like, I've already met someone that seems decent. So I was like, okay, I already met a guy that looks decent. So that is my ex-husband. So his name is Mark, right? So we were chatting. We were chatting all the time. He had me on Facebook. We were talking on WhatsApp and everything before. I was like, I was very consistent. He talks to me every day. Like every day, every morning, every night. Like he said he's working at Target as a security, and then he also own a business. So I was like, okay. And then I told him that, yeah, this is what I'm doing. I'm also working from home and everything. I've done this before. This is the kind of life that I have and everything. So he knew. And then, he would also talk to my grandmother and everything. So, he knew about my family. He knew that, I'm a single mom, that I have Nathan. So that's about it. And then, he told me about his background. He said that, yeah, I'm divorced. I've been divorced for, I believe, 10 years at that time. He said he's divorced. He's 10 years divorced. He has 2 children. And I said, yeah, I also have a kid. I have 1 child. And then that's how we started talking. He seemed very honest. He seemed very normal. And at the time I was living in Sorsogon because I have an apartment. But there's something that I've noticed about him. Whenever I would go visit my family in Gubat, he would get upset. He's like very, it doesn't seem like he trusted me whenever I would go home to Gubat. He always just wanted me to stay at my apartment and talk to him all the time. Like whenever I would go visit my parents in Gubat, he would be upset when I come back. Like he would he's doubting me that I am not being honest. It's like, I don't know. We always fight. We always fight even before me going to the US. He's very jealous about everything. Like, you know, I don't know, it's like maybe that's just his personality, but oh well. So Mark, he was a district manager for Mark works at Mattel. He was a district manager for Mattel. Mattel is a toy company. Mattel company. Mattel is a famous company. They're selling Barbies. They're selling cars. Those race car, the little cars. Those are the kinds that he was selling before. So he was a district manager. He's managing different region. He's a regional district manager. So he said, he's a big deal, like, doing this and doing that. And I was like, wow. And then he showed me a lot of Barbies, and I was like, oh my goodness gracious in heaven, I love Barbies. So I was like, okay, without further ado, I was like, okay, why not? Well, he seemed like, he's harmless, and he seemed like he's friendly because, he has sisters. So I was like, okay, he probably knew how to treat a woman because he has older sister. So Mark, they are four in the family. So he has three older sister, and he is the youngest. So he has three big sisters. One of them at the time already passed away, and so he only has two sisters left, and then he's the youngest. And then he has two children. And then he was divorced. He was divorced for I think 10 years at that time. So he was divorced, and I was like, at the time it was no big deal to me because I'm used to hearing people saying that there's a lot of, divorce is normal in America. Like, if they don't agree on something, if they're not happy, divorce is normal. And I was like, this guy went through a lot. It's a good thing that he didn't marry right away. He waited. It's not like, okay, we got divorced and then a year or two he got married again. He's not like that. He waited and he made sure that his kids are, according to him. But I don't know. I mean, he's the one who only knew the real story. But that's about it. So we were dating. We dated 2 years. We dated 2 years. But during the 2 years, he already visited. He already came to the Philippines to propose to me. So he came to the Philippines. He bought a ring. He bought an engagement ring, and he proposed to me, and he said he's going to marry me, right? And then I said yes. He probably knew the answer already, but anyway. And then, he proposed to me in Manila. He proposed to me there, and then we traveled to Gubat, right? It's actually my first time riding a plane from Manila with Mark. So that was the first time that I've ever ride a plane with Mark. From Manila going to Legazpi. It was funny because the first time that I rode a plane from Manila to Legazpi, the plane did not land. So the plane just keeps circling around the Mayon volcano, and then we went back to Manila again. Because I don't know, I think it was cloudy or something like that. I was like, maybe that's God's way of saying no, don't go. But anyway, long story short, we were able to arrive in Gubat anyway. We stayed in Sorsogon there. We stayed in Sorsogon. There's a hotel there that we stayed at, but the place is already closed. I don't know why. It's like it feels like all the places that we went to has already been closed, or the other one here. There's also another restaurant. So anyway, when we arrived here in Gubat, so I introduced Mark to my family, right? So they knew the situation. Hey, we're not rich. This is the situation here. This is where I live. This is my parents and everything. So yeah. And then my my mom, I think it was my mom, he gave him like you know, a star apple, kaimito, whatever you call it. But anyway, we went to Gubat, we had dinner, you know, because I knew my parents, I didn't, you know, I was shy to tell them that I'm engaged, but they probably knew that I already am. But anyway, so my family went to Gubat. We had dinner. So we ate in Gubat. There's a restaurant there, but the restaurant unfortunately is already closed and it was burnt. I don't know why, but oh well. That's where we had our family, you know, family engagement party. Very simple, but that's pretty much how it was. You know, so that's it. That's the story. And then I had to wait again because he petitioned, you know, he petitioned me. I was on K1 visa or fiancé visa. So he started doing the paperwork and everything. So fiancé visa is like an invitation for, you know, for an American citizen to a non-citizen from overseas to go to the US and, you know, marry and go there to marry. If you watch those 90-day fiancé visa show, I know that show is super exaggerated, but that's how it works. Our story is not like that, but I think, you know, um, it's a little bit hype than that. But anyway, that was that. It wasn't that bad, you know. Going to the US isn't that bad. So he petitioned me. I had medical because you had to go through a thorough medical examination, you know. You have to go to embassy to do some interviews, NBI, police clearance and everything to make sure that you are a good citizen of the Philippines and you're not going to be a troublemaker in the US. So that's about it. And then what else? You know, I'm not going to deny it. He's the one who helped me a lot with, you know, when it comes to the financial part of me going there. Like, he's the one who paid the, you know, the petition. He petitioned me going there. You know, everything that I have to take care of to get there. And my plane ticket. He, you know, the medical bill. What else? Pretty much everything that I don't have to worry about it. So that was the story of it. You know, I was very invested. I was like, okay, this is my, you know, this is my dream, you know, to start a family and bring Nathan there to the US. And then at the same time, you know, I felt like we already started a strong foundation because I also have a family in Florida. I have my aunt. So my aunt lives to the nearby city. So my husband lives in Winter Park and my aunt lives in Winter Garden. So they're like neighbor. So when my ex-husband visited the Philippines, my aunt, you know, they met. Mark met my aunt in Florida. So, you know, they were talking and everything. So yeah. That was the story of it. And I am going to record another video because it's going to be almost 30 minutes and I'm running out of space. So let me record another video.